name is, as many of you may know, Elise Guadarobe, and today I want to thank you all for giving me this chance to give a quick presentation about memory of all things, or specifically mnemonic devices with a specific focus on something called the memory palace. So as many of you may already know, mnemonic devices are a sort of methodology and technique, a sort of tool to help remember information efficiently and more effectively. A lot of mnemonic devices you guys may already be familiar with, things like acronyms or spaced repetition or strong association. The one I'm going to use, or give an example of and teach you guys how to do, is called the memory palace, and it's also known as the method of Loci, as well as the Roman room. And it goes back as far as 477 BC, and it was used by an ancient Greek poet called Simonides. Nowadays, if you become skilled enough, you can use this method to memorize a shuffled deck of cards in under around 2 minutes, effectively, like you can remember it 2 weeks later. But for more practical use, for folks like us who are students and we've got jobs and work and stuff, you can use it to remember long processes, complicated tasks or concepts for school and stuff like that. I do have a quick demonstration. The visual aid that you have in front of you is 30 random words that I memorized not too long ago. I've read it twice when I printed it out, and I read it once more right now, so hopefully you folks get to see this in action. But like I said, it can be used for more than just random words. It can also be used for any kind of information. So, the demonstration. We start with great, well-groomed, apparel, compete, jail, shelter. After shelter, it's snap. Shelter, a word I can't recall right now. Continue. Actually, girl, shaggy, ajar, minor, satisfy, harm, spotted, finger, nod. We've got green, smash. After smash, we've got moon, fretful, pollution. After pollution, we've got pollution. Cast. Yeah. Cast. The nicest word, pray. After pray is coil. After coil is decide. After decide is one more word, rapid. And after rapid, it should be dependent. Whoa! As we become more, obviously, by this point, you're probably wondering how it works and why it works. And there's very simple reasoning behind it. The reason why it works is because human beings have a very, very strong memory for spatial memory and navigation. To give you a quick example, this is something that we take for granted very, very easily. But out of any living thing, we have fantastic memory for remembering where things are. The best example for this is if you look at your personal living environments, your homes. You know exactly where to find a phone charger. You know exactly where to find a spoon, a pair of socks. You don't think about it because it's second nature. Your memory is that good. And what this methodology does, this technique does, is it hijacks your brain's ability to remember space, and you put other information in that space. And then you just mentally, visually walk through that space. I'll explain how it's done in more detail in a few seconds. The way they found this out is there's actually researchers, scientists that are really passionate about this stuff, and they study it, and they find out exactly how it works. There was some folks, Paris Sherman and Rizzo, they found out that 90% of people that have tested with superior memory under brain scans, their hippocampus, as well as the area around their medial temporal lobes, is way more active than people without superior memory. And that's the parts of your brain that's responsible for spatial memory as well as navigation. So they're using that wiring that's already there. All right, now how it works. In order to make this technique work, it's really easy. I promise you, if I can do it, I could probably teach a dog to do it. So we got this. We need 3 things. We need a place, and there are some other researchers, Sharon Gutman and Joshua Forward. that found that using your home or something, an area that you intimately know, a place you've lived in the past, a place with rooms, a place with smaller places, like an apartment that you know, or your personal home, works the best. And the more detailed your knowledge of that area, the more effective this memory is going to be. This technique is going to be. So Sharon Gutman and Joshua Fuller credit for that. So you need a place, you need the information that you're going to commit to memory, and you're also going to need a way to commit that information to memory. You're going to take your information or your idea, and you're going to break it up into smaller pieces. And then you're going to take those pieces and put it in different places in your rooms, in your memory palace. It sounds complicated, but I promise it's not. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to use something called elaborative encoding, which sounds like complicated words, but it can best be described by the Baker-Baker paradox, which is another fancy term some cognitive psychologists cooked up. These gentlemen named Coben and Conway. And the way that works is, if I were to introduce two people to you, and I said, hello, this person's name is Baker, and this person's name is, well, I'm not going to tell you his name, but their occupation is a baker. And then 2 weeks later, I came to you and I said, do you remember those guys I introduced you to? Do you remember that word? Or, their name or their occupation? People, by a landslide, will remember the person who is a baker as opposed to the person whose name is Baker. The reason behind that is because the person who's named Baker, that name, beyond their name, that information doesn't mean anything to you. But the person who is a baker, you've already got a lot of established memories about what a baker is. You know that they've got a white apron, a white hat. You know they probably smell like freshly baked bread. They work in a pastry shop. You've got all these supporting memories. That memory has more weight. And that's how you're going to encode all those pieces of memory. You're going to try to connect to them as many tethered as you can. You're going to give that memory weight. You're going to remember textures, sights, sounds, smells. And especially powerful evokers of memory are emotions, believe it or not. If you look back on your life, you'll notice that the memories that stand out the most to you are the memories that have a lot of emotional weight. Your happiest memories, your saddest memories, moments you felt angry, or whenever you were heavily emotionally invested. Those are the moments that stand out to you. And that's ultimately the 3 steps. You need a place, or you need your idea. You need a place you know well. It doesn't even have to be a real place, but you have to know it well. And you need to give that memory as much weight as you can, so connect it to what you already know. And that brings us to a close. I just want to close with a quote from Joshua Foer. It goes like this: our memories are the sum of our lives. At the end of your life, your character, your substance as a person, all your experiences are ultimately going to be what you remember up until that point, for our lifespan here, temporarily at least. And in an age with smartphones, smartwatches, and so many electronic reminders, it's a faculty, a part of ourselves that we fail to develop because it's done for us by technology. And cell phones won't be able to remember important moments in your life that give your life more meaning or develop your character in a certain way. Thank you.